Trent, we spoke to Connor the other day, and I guess he's frustrated in a way given how innocuous that bump was with Sione, but it could be serious if he played through it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. He's had one before. I think he had one in 2022 with us. And this one recovered better. So that was the hard part. He sort of had a sore throat that night when lying down, had to go to the hospital, but then the next day was quite good. And then, he's been in really good form. He's pushing for selection, and now he can't play. So disappointing for him, but we also can't risk something more serious. So we explored all the options, but not to be.
He's been a real cog in your attack in terms of the start. Can you get that from anywhere else? Do you have to change the way you attack?
No, I mean, obviously he's unique in that sort of 13-9 plus a few other positions. I think he played 5'8" in centre. Sandon's also accelerated play at different times for us last year as well, at the back end of the year when he came on. So I'm excited about Sandon playing as well. But it's like anything, every player's unique, but you work around the players that are going to play that weekend. It's no different for us.
It's almost strange. We were speaking about you lose one, you gain the other one back. Would you like to have them both almost at the same time, or would that cause more headaches?
Yeah, it is. That's a really tough one with the positions they play. Obviously, both halves originally. Connor's found his role in really being a 13 who can play 9. And Sandon's going to progress into the halves and playing that hooking role. So, it's hard to play them both at the same time, but their energy and their intensity that they play with does help.
Last weekend before Origin selection, a lot of contention about the fullback spot. Would you like to see Teddy back there again? Is he coming?
Yeah, I think everyone would know my point of view on that. I think he's been in outstanding form for us all year. As have a lot of guys. It's such a key position for teams, and some players have been playing really well, but he's a leader, and he's been leading from the front all year, so I'd like to see him continue there.
Do you think it's fair that it's not just an automatic selection, that he shouldn't just be the walk-up number one?
No, I don't think anybody should be automatic selection. I think with such a competitive competition that people should be discussed, and the players that they're discussing are very, very good players as well, and dominating the competition as well. But he's also led the way, and he's led the series led the New South Wales to series victories as well. So, I don't think he's put a foot wrong there. Yeah, I think people can see that he's very clear at dominating that left edge, and he's been doing that. But I can imagine, like each week, they want to see one more week. This weekend will play a part as well, and you want to see players perform.
Just maintaining this, are you any closer into the discussions about his future or his hospital?
We're not closer to discussions about the future. We've definitely had discussions, but we might want to keep those discussions in-house a bit more. We don't want to jump the gun. So we've had our discussions there, but we're not sort of any closer for next year yet.
Just back to Teddy, look, there's always going to be external talk, there has been for over 12 months about his position.
Yep.
He bleeds for the Roosters here every day, but is he a player that in the back of his mind would be like, I want to prove to himself that he still belongs there?
It's a funny one, Teddy. There's guys that show their personality to the public a lot, and they're really open, and people can see them there. Teddy's quite private, and he goes about his work, but there's rarely a player that I've seen that's as hungry as Teddy for performance. Week in, week out, his desire to be the best, the way that he trains the game, the way that he lives his life, but he doesn't need to boast that or to do to express that to anybody. So people sometimes are trying to work out where he's at, whereas what you get to see from Teddy every day is one of the most meticulous players that I've seen prepare for the game and hungry to win moments, and he's constantly done that. I think he does that quite humbly, but there's a fire inside him that I think you can see if you look. If you see it, he just won't express it through really big facial expressions or fist pumping or anything like that. It'll be through action and repetitive action.
And speaking of those actions, like his form this year has been really, really good. Like, how impressive have you been by, I guess, his leadership and his form?
Yeah, he's done both. As I said, he came back earlier than he had to from pre-season. He wasn't happy with how he was last year, and he knew he wanted to be in a physical state, so he came back early before Christmas, trained really well, and then he's done a lot of high-quality sessions there, which ends up going into the game. And at his age, he knows he's got to be in really good physical shape to play the game that he wants.
Great opportunity to honour one of the club's greats this week with Ron Sadler.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what the club's sort of done honouring Ron for this week.
Yeah, so one of Ron's granddaughters has designed the jersey, which is a really big piece, and I think we love and we're known for Artie and captaining Australia, and but Ron was one of the first Indigenous captains, I think, of New South Wales. Played in the 60s and 70s and played under Jack Gibson and dominated those periods, and then went up to, lead a quiet life up in Northern Rivers there. So his granddaughters designed the jersey, and you sort of see the boomerang with Ron Sadler and his player number in our jersey, and we're looking forward to that. And then we've also got Connor's Foundation and trying to reduce Indigenous youth suicide, and to see all of the boots. Every player that runs on the field will have their boots painted by one of the young kids, either from the Glen or from the schools on the Central Coast that Connor works with. So it's it's amazing some of the art that's on those boots, and we want to represent that well.
It's around the era where it seems to get right.
Yeah, definitely. I think love the jerseys, love the design, love the heritage piece around, for us celebrating some former players and also getting young artists to come and design jerseys. It's it's a wonderful round.
Just on the video that was released there, how disappointing was it the club had to come out and say that?
It's really disappointing. I think it's where we're at. I think in society, I think it's a sort of a sad parody of social media and media and the snippets that people pick up and what they run off. We're not in a good space when it comes to that. People make assumptions based on small cuts or headlines, and people don't want too much information. They want controversy, and it's really sad when people get affected by it. And then the chain of events that follow that, it just seems farcical sometimes. So. I thought we handled it well. I thought the players handled it really well, and move on.
So it must be disappointing for a guy like Marina too, because he's had his own issues. This was a case of he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, nothing wrong. You know what he said? He said, "Look, I know I've had my past, but I feel sorry for the guys that, haven't touched a drop of alcohol in their life, and they're standing there and they've got to explain to their family that they didn't do anything wrong, and one's hasn't touched a drop of alcohol, trying to give away prizes, and then you get caught up in that because some people want to search for some stuff, and then it catches fire because, ignorant people want to catch a headline. Come on, we've got to be better than that, but are we going to get there? I don't know.
Just quickly, it's not every week a club will let their player into a rival club to have a meeting, albeit about his boots. But we found it quite funny yesterday. Like, how did you react? You're like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, Connor, this is the beauty of someone like Connor. Connor's, he's a Roosters player, but he's his own man as well, and he's, people can be something other than a football player sometimes. He can be an ambassador for an amazing charity and a really important one. So him representing that, he doesn't always have to wear the Roosters hat. He can be himself and represent something special.